In this video, we'll be seeing how to create login and registration in Android using Laravel APIs. We'll be using sanctum authentication for this. So let's start with the implementation. First of all, we can create a new Laravel project. So I am going to create this project inside this folder. So we can open the command prompt. You can simply type cmd here and hit enter. So this will open the command prompt within that folder. You can see, or simply you can navigate to this folder using cd and the folder name. Okay, and it will navigate. Okay, now we are inside this one, and we can create a new Laravel project using the command Laravel new. If you are not having Laravel installed, you can watch our previous videos. We have discussed how to install and set up Laravel in detail, so you can watch those. So let's create a new Laravel project. You can give the project name and hit enter. Laravel new project name. Now here we don't need anything, so let's choose none here and hit enter. We can go with PHP unit, and here we don't need any git, no, and hit enter. Now wait for this to complete. We can choose our database. So I'm going with MySQL. So type MySQL here and hit enter. Now we have to run the migrations. We can do that later on. So let's choose no for now. Now our project is created, and you can see it is inside this folder. So let's open our project inside an IDE. I am going to use PHP Storm. So you can use any IDE of your preference. I'll be using PHP Storm. So let's open our folder inside this editor. So it was inside documents and this folder, and this is the folder. So this is the project folder. So select your project folder and simply open it. So this is our new Laravel project. Here we can open the env file, and here you can see that this is the app name. You can change that here. So let's configure the database details here. You can see it is MySQL, and it is running on localhost. If you are using SAM, by default, you will be having a user root and the password will be empty. So I'll be using that details. I will recommend you to use SAM. So we can start Apache and MySQL on our SAM control panel. And you can minimize this. If you don't know how to install all these things, I have done a detailed video. You can watch that on the YouTube. I'll give the link on description, so you can watch that. Now we can run this migration. So this will create a new database. So we don't have to do that manually. It will automatically do. So you can open your terminal. Simply make sure that you are inside this project directory. I will not be touching the basics of Laravel. We already have videos on that, so you can go through that. So now we can run the migration PHP artisan migrate, and you can type yes here because we don't have the database created. So it is asking whether you want to create it or not. So now the migrations is done. You can close this terminal and can go to the database migrations, and here we can see the users table. So by default, Laravel project comes with this table which has user name, email, and password. So we'll be using this. So if you need to add any new details, you can add that here. Simply add that here, and you can run the migration. So when you're running the migrations again, you can use the command php artisan migrate fresh. And you can simply hit enter here. Now this will migrate all the database from the start, and it will be a fresh database. All the data that you will be having will be gone. Okay, so make sure that you are doing this at the initial stages, otherwise your data will be lost. Okay, so that's it. You can make any changes here, and you can migrate all those things. Now we can go to our controller. We can create a new controller for handling the login and registration. Before that, you can go to the route section here, and we need a API route. Okay, because right now Laravel will not be having APIs. So open the terminal, and we can type php artisan install API and hit enter. So make sure that you are typing the correct command. Okay, php:/API. Okay, hope it is visible. Okay, now it will add all the necessary things to your project. Okay, it is asking you to run the migrations again. You have to run it again. So yes, and hit enter. That's it. Now you can see this table has been created. This migration has been run. Okay, so there's a new table now, personal access token. So we can see that in detail later on. Okay, now you can run this project and keep that running. So simply php artisan serve Now it will run our application in this port. You can see that. So this is our default Laravel application. Hope it is visible. You can see that here. So now we'll be creating the APIs. So we'll not be touching the UI part on Laravel because we are going to do the login on Android. So we'll be developing all the things in API part. So you can open the terminal here once more, and let's open one more terminal. And you can create a controller to do all the login and registration, all those things. So hope it is visible for you. The command is php artisan make controller and then the name of the controller. Okay, so I'm giving the name auth manager. You can give any name according to your wish. So this is the command. So simply type that and hit enter. Now it will create a controller. You can find the controller inside app, HTTP and controllers. So this is our new controller. Here we can create a function for, let's create one for registration. So function, you can type registration. Okay, you can see the suggestion. I am using PHP Storm and you will get suggestions like this. You can use VS Code and install all the necessary plugins and it will work great. Okay, so that's it. Now here we can create a new user. So for that, we will need name of the user, email and password. So we can validate if these details are passed or not. So let's try $validate equal to, we can call the class validator and we can call make. We can pass a request of all here. And after that, give a comma and we can pass the rules as an array. Okay. Can give a semicolon here and we can bring this down here, hit an enter here. Now here we can specify what all things you need to set as the rules. Like you can set name as required. Let's set email as required and you can set it as unique of users and you can set it as an email also. You can set this. These are suggestions given by PHP Storm. So you can use any, so that doesn't matter. Okay. So you can set password as required. You can also set minimum password length to something like 8 or something. You can set all those things. You can refer internet and do that. So that's the validator. Now we need to check if the validator is failing or not. Okay, so we can do here. We can check if the validator fails or not. So we can type if validator of fails. We can return some response here. We can return a JSON response. Okay, hope it is visible. Let me just, okay. So you can set the status to 200 itself. Otherwise, you won't be able to read this JSON. Okay, now you can set a status here. Okay, always try to set a status first. Status, and we can set it as something like error. Okay, and you can pass this as an array. This will be an array. And this is the message. So you can set it as message and this will be the error message. You can add get messages here and this will be returning an array of errors. You can hover over this and you can see that. Okay. And that's it. So this will be the error message. You can hit enter here. So it will be much visible for you. So this is our response if the validator fails. Okay. So you can come here. After that, we can get validated. You can make a variable validated and that's equal to, we can call this function validate of validated. Now you will get all the data as an array. That is the name, email and password. You can access that from this validated variable and it will be in an array. So now we can create a new user. So for that, we can $user equal to new. We already have a model that is user. We can go to this models folder and you can see this user model. Okay. So this is by default there inside Laravel and you can see this one. Okay. So we'll be using this to access our table users. So if you're having any errors with this model, you can simply add a $table option and you can set the table name as users. Sometimes you could get errors because you are not specifying this table name. Okay, so you can make sure you specify that name and now we can simply call the model. You have to make sure that you are actually calling the model class. Okay, so you can see that check my mouse pointer. You can see that I am calling this user model from app/models. Okay, so that's it. And if you go to the top here, that is added as a use statement on the top. And also when I earlier added this validator, you can see this is the class that I'm using. Okay, so these import statements are very important. There are many classes with the same name, so you should not miss it. Okay, and that's it. Now we can add the name. So $user of name. Okay, name equal to, now we can set the name that is from this variable that is validated. Name, and now we can set $. And in the case of password, we have to encrypt the password. So we can use the class that is hash. So you have to use this class, and you can call the make function. And then inside this, we can pass the validated of password. Okay. So now this is our non-encrypted password, and this will be our encrypted password. And we are going to store the encrypted password in the database. And you will not be able to get the non-encrypted password again. So how this will be checking is, you will be encrypting the password when the user enters, and you will be checking the encrypted versions of the passwords. Okay, that's a very simple version of it. Okay, now you can save it. You can simply type an if condition, and you can save it. And if it is successful, you can return some success. Otherwise, you can return some error. Okay, so this is, and here we can create an array, and we can copy this from here. Okay, and we can paste that here, and we can paste that here as well. Okay, now you have to remove this one. So this is the error section. Okay, so don't get confused. Hope it is properly visible. Let me just make it bigger. Okay, and here you can type unknown error or something. Okay, and here we can pass a success message. User created successfully, and change the status to success. Okay, so that's it. So our API for registering a new user is complete. So you can see we are having a function here, a register, and we are receiving the request from the user. So we'll be passing these data from the Android, and you will be receiving that here. And we are validating if the request is having these details. Okay, so we are checking if the name is there, email is there, and email is email and unique. And we are also checking if password is there. Then if this fails, we are going to return this JSON. Okay, and if doesn't fails, we'll be executing the further things, and we will get the array here. And now we are simply creating a new user here. We are going to insert all the details, and if the insertion is successful, we are going to return a success message. Otherwise, we are going to return this error message. That's it. So this is our registration function, and let's do the login function as well. So those two will be the API part. Other than that, I don't think there is much to do in the API part. So let's complete the API part, and we can go to the Android part. So here you can come here, and let's create a new function. Okay, so we are inside this controller. Okay, and we can create a new function, login, and you can open it. So we are receiving the request here, just like registration. Now you can validate. You can copy some details from here. Okay, and the fails, and this much you can copy, and we can add that here. Okay, now we don't need this name, and you can remove that, and you can remove this one also. Okay, simply add required, and these things are correct. Okay, email required, password required, and validate error, and that's it. Okay, and here we can type the logic for login. Okay, here we can call inside the if condition, we can call auth of attempt. So when you are selecting the auth, you have to make sure that you are selecting this proper class. So select this class, and you can call the attempt, and inside this we can pass the credentials as an array. So we are having email and password, and both are inside the validated variable. So you can see the suggestion here. So let's use that, and I will show you properly. Wait, and we are having email here and the password here, and that's it. So this is our array here. This is our if condition attempt, and this is the if condition closing, and this is the brackets opening. Okay, so hope this is properly visible for you. So this is our login, and if this is successful, we can come inside and return a success message. And if it is failing, we can return some error response here. So we can copy the error response from this one, and we can paste that here. You can give any message according to whatever you want. You can give that message. I'm not going to do that right now. And here we can make a success. Status should be success, and we can give some login successful. Now, in the case of login, we have to generate the key, and we will have to pass those details as well. So let's come here. We have to pass the user details. We can pass the data here. So data, and you can use auth of users. Okay. Now we are returning the user details here. All the user details will be here inside this data, and it will be in an array format. Okay, so we have to create a key. So let's do that. So for that, you can come here. Let's change this to a variable. You can cut it from here and inside this. Okay, let me just make it shorter. Otherwise, it is a bit harder to read. So I have simply formatted the code a little bit, so it will be easy for me to understand. So here inside this if condition, we can add this $user. We can get the user here, and we can use $user. Or we can call, before calling that, we have to go inside the user model, and we have to add a thing. That is, you can come here. We can come to this use statement, and we have to use has API tokens. So you have to add this class. Okay. So has API tokens. You can select this one here, and this will add a use statement on the top. Okay. So simply add this to the model user, and you can call the function that is create token, and you can specify the use case here, and we can get the plain text token, and we can get that to a variable $token, and that's it. So this is how you can generate a token, the symbol line. Okay, so you simply have to add this has API tokens, and you have to make sure this use statement is also added, and you have to add this line. So this here generates the token, and it will be added to the database, and it will return the token as a plain text. Now we have to return this as well. So you can set any name for the authentication here. So maybe you want to set it as Android token or like mobile token. You can set it that token, so you can understand that this token is generated for the mobile authentication purpose and all. Okay. Now we can return the details as an array, and let's say user, and we can return user, and let's token. You can do like this. Okay. So here inside user, we'll be having all the user details like name, email, etc. Created at and all those things. And inside this token, we'll be having this token that we have generated here. Okay. So that's it, because we will be needing this token on our Android side, because we'll be using this token to make all the further requests after login. So this is our login function. You can see we are simply accepting the request, and we are checking if email and password is present or not. And you can set a minimum also. You can, if you want to set like password a minimum of 6 or minimum of 10, you can simply set that like this. Okay. You can set that on the registration as well. So you can do that. I'm not doing that right now. You can refer the Laravel documentation, or simply Google it, or use ChatGPT, and you can get this. Okay. And here we are checking if the validate is failing or not. If it is failing, we are returning the error here. And we are getting this validated data inside this variable as an array, and we are passing that to this method attempt. And if the login is successful, this will do all the login part. You don't have to worry about it. Laravel will handle that. You simply have to pass the email and password to this function. And after that, if this is successful, you will come inside this one, and you can return success and then generate a token. Okay. When login is successful, you can generate this token, and you can return that token and the user data as a response to this login, because we need this from Android side. And if all these are failing, here in the else part for this if, we can simply return some error. That's it. So this is our simple login function. So we are done with our API part. We simply have a register and a login function. Now we have to go to our APIs. So let's come to the routes here and go to the api.php, and we can let's use this. Okay, we can add login, and you can remove this much from here. Okay, we don't know this function because we are having the controller. So let's call the controller, that is auth manager. Okay, and you can see I'm using this class. Okay, app/http/controllers, and we can class. Okay, let's add this as a use statement on the top. I am using PHP Storm, so I'm having these options to do like this. Okay, so the shortcuts will be different for each, so you can figure it out. Now here we can call the login function. That's it. So this is our route. We are having the middleware here. Okay, so this is our route for login. We can change it to post. Okay, change the method to post. So we don't need any get request. So we can simply change it to post here, and we can duplicate this line. And we need one for registration, register, and we can call register method. That's it. So here, if you simply click on this control, this is inside PHP Storm. You can click on control and click on this method here, function here. You can go to the function which is connected with the controller. You can simply click like this and go to this one. Okay, and you can verify that it is actually connected to that function. Okay, so this is it. You simply have to add the route for registration and login. Now how this will be is you will be having /API/login. So this is how your routes will be. And before that, it is your host name. That is, let's say you are on localhost, it will be like 1.0.1. Okay, /. So this is how the URL will be. Okay, so this is our path. So by default, you will be having this prior to all the route that you are going to add inside this api.php. Okay, so that's it. So hope you understand. This is a simple API that we have created. We are simply generating this key token here. Okay, so we are simply generating this token here. That's the main part. You can generate this token anywhere. It is not necessary that you have to do it inside the login itself. You can do it anywhere according to your use case. You can generate different types of token. Okay, not just for login. You can generate different types of token, and you can use it accordingly. So in this case, we are going with the login, and now the API part is completed. We can test these once the Android part is also done. So let's keep this here and go to our Android part. Let's create a new Android project. We can select empty view activity and click next, and you can give the name for the application. You can change the package name, and you can set the location. If you want to change, you can change it here. And we'll be using Java. You can change the language if you want to go with Kotlin. We will be doing this in Java. And you can select the minimum SDK. We are keeping into the same, and we can use Groovy DSL, and you can click on finish. So our project is built properly. Let me just zoom it a little bit so it will be visible for you. Okay, you can set it this one. Okay, and you can see that we are inside the Android, and you can open app, Java, this folder is main activity, and you can go to layouts, and this one. So we need activity for login and registration. So we'll be doing that in separate activities, and you can go to empty view activity. Okay, so I just tap the right click here, and you can go to new, and you can select activity and go to empty view activity. Okay, empty views activity. Should select views activity, and you can name the activity like login activity, and can set this as a launcher, because whenever the app is opening, you can show the login screen. So you can simply check this as a launcher activity, and this will be added to the manifest. I will show you. and you can click on finish, and you can go to the manifest here, and here you can see the new activity is added as a launcher here. So this is the login activity, and you can see this is the launcher, and we can change the main activity to something default. Okay, so now this is the launcher activity, and okay, everything else is fine. We can add the user's permission for internet. Simply add this line here, and your app will have access to the internet. And that's it. You can close manifest, and we can also create one more activity for the registration. So empty, so register activity, and this one is not a launcher, and you can click on finish. So now we have 3 activities in our application. You can see we have the main activity, login activity, and register activity, and we are having the layout files as well. So we can go to the register, and inside the layout I have opened this register activity register.xml file, and we can go to this the split option, and we can change the parent layout to something like a linear layout, and we can set the orientation to vertical. So I'll not be explaining each and every step of designing. I'm going to simply add 2 edit text, maybe 3 edit text. Okay, we need name, email, and password, so I'll be adding 3 edit tests for that, and a button. And you will be inserting the data in the edit text, and on clicking the button we'll be sending the request to the API. Okay, so the UI is going to be very simple. You can work on the UI according to anything. You can simply refer some tutorials, and you will get better UIs. UI part is much easier. You can do it according to your preference. Okay, so we'll be concentrating on the backend part and the API connection part. Okay, so let's add an edit text here. So we can just duplicate this, copy, and you can add it here and here as well, and you can simply change this ID to email and this one to password. Okay, now we can give a hint. Let's come here and give a hint option, and you can specify name, maybe enter name, something. Okay, you can give any hint here. So that's it. This is our edit text. We are having 3 edit texts. One for name, you can see we are having an hint here, and one for the email, you can see this is the ID, and this is for password. Now we need a button, so you can come here and add a button here. Button web content, okay, content, and here as well, and you can close it. Okay, and we can add an ID for this one, ID, and maybe like register, reg, that's enough. Okay, so this is our UI, and you can give a text for the button. Okay, text and register. Okay, and okay, we can center everything. So come to the parent layout and give a gravity and make it center. That's enough. Okay, and we can give a small padding. So maybe like padding, maybe 10 pixel dp. Okay, that's enough, I guess. Okay, so we will not be doing the UI part in detail. You can see how this is going to look. Okay, so it is very easy. If you want to design, I'll show you something. Okay, you can give an background color, maybe like let's give some color here, and you can see that we can do it things like this. Okay, you can create a drawable file, and you can add that here. You can do a lot of things like this. So right now we'll not be wasting time on this UI part. If you want to center this hint, you can simply give gravity here inside this one and center it, and this is going to be in the center. Okay, we can add that as well. Okay, come here, add this one, and add it here as well. Okay, that's enough. In case of button, it will be already centered. Okay, so that's not required. You can add a small margin on the top for the button, margin top, and we can add it like a 20 dp or something. Okay, that's enough. Okay, so this is going to be our registration UI, and this is okay. Now we can go to the Java part. Okay, you can copy this one and paste it on the login part as well, because we need this same UI. So you can copy and paste it here, and you can simply remove this name because we don't need name for logging in. Can change the text on the button to login, and change the ID of the button to something like login. Okay, that's it. So UI part is completed. Now we can go to our Java file. That is, let's go to this registration activity, So register activity, and here let's remove all these things. We don't need this right now. We can make it simpler. Okay, this much is enough. And here we can create an object for the edit text first of all. So this is the register activity. Okay, edit text, and we can create edit text for all of them, like name, edit text, like what was it, email, and next one is edit text and password, and that's it. So that's the object. Now you can initialize them. So edit text, let's edit text name equal to find view by ID. I am not going to use the view binder, so let's keep it much simpler. And you can give the ID that we given, that was this one. Okay, and let's add a email equal to find view by ID dot. You can use email, and the next one is password. And that's it. Now we have to set up a on-click listener for the button. So let's you can create the object for button here itself, because we won't be needing that anywhere else. So button, let's say button, any name you can give, find view by ID dot, and give the button was like btnreg. Okay, so you have to make sure that you're giving the exact ID that you are giving on the exact layout file. Okay, so here you can see in the registration layout file, we are giving this btnreg, and that's why I use this on the registration activity Java file. Okay, so you can simply click on this control and use the mouse to click on this, and you will be taken to that particular view. Okay, now you can set the on click listener button dot set on click listener and new on click listener. Okay, we can just simplify this, tap alt enter, and that's it. Okay, now here we can call a function to make a post request to the API. So let's create a function outside this one, like let's make void, we can name it like red user, and that's it. Okay, so inside this function we can call that function here. Okay, user, and here we have to make the HTTP request to the API. So for that we will be using the retrofit. You can come to this URL, I'll give the link. So you can come to this URL, and we can click on this download option, and this is it. Okay, we can copy this one, and we can add that. We can go to the Gradle scripts here, and let's go to the build.gradle module app. You can select the second file. Okay, and here you can see the dependencies. You can add this here, and we can change this to the version, latest version, and we can come to this documentation and go to the GitHub page, and we can check the latest version is 2.11.0. okay, you can see this one. You can simply copy this one as well. Okay, from here you can simply copy this version that is available here, the latest version. Okay, you can give the version here. Okay, let's paste the version, and you can click on sync now. Okay, you can simply click on sync now, and it will be added to your project. Okay, and that's it. So you can see this yellow line. That's because you can simply hover out this one and click this one and type alt enter. You can see replace with a new library catalog. You can click that one, and it will be added to this. It will be added like this. You can give the version here and get it. Okay, and that's it. Okay, now retrofit is added. Now you can go back to the documentation. So here you can see that we need to create the interface first. So let's do that. So for that you can come to this and create a new Java class, and we can name it like maybe API service, and that's it. Now this is an interface. Okay, so we can change the class to interface. That's it. And here we have to specify at post. You can see that's import statement. Okay, at post we can specify the endpoint, which will be /API/ I think it was register. Okay, and under that you can specify the header and the body. Call, and here we can call response body. Okay, add the header. You can add the header here. Also we need the authorization token to be passed, so we can set that. And here we need to specify the details that we need to pass through the request. So we need to create a class, Java class here, and you can set it as user. Okay, here we need name and email and password. Now we can create a constructor for this, and here we can set this values. Okay, now we can create getter and setter functions. We might need them, so let's add that anyway. Okay, get name, get email, and get password, and same like that. Set name, set email. We might need this. So as we keep on developing, we might need this. So simply add the getters and setters, and this is our class user, and that's it. So you can come here, and here we can specify user, and you can give a semicolon here. Now we have added this for the register. We can add this one for the login as well. Let's come here and add the login. So we can change this from post login. Okay, and you can change this to post register. Okay, okay, that's it. So that's all with our API services. We can go to the register activity, and here we can create a object for retrofit. We have created the object, and now we can give a dot here. Okay, you can set base URL, and base URL will be http:// and it's going to be the IP address. So let's leave it blank for now. You can okay, I will show you how to get the IP address. So first of all, we can type the API / and that will be our base address. Okay, we are giving the API on this part. Okay, so you can check the IP address now. So we can open the command prompt, and here you can simply type IP con and hit enter. You can see the IPv4 address. I can copy this one. So this will be only accessible on your local Wi-Fi address. Okay, Wi-Fi connection. So your device and your main system should be connected to the same Wi-Fi. Otherwise, this will not work. Okay, so this is the Wi-Fi IPv4 address for the Wi-Fi that you are connected right now. So I'm connected to a Wi-Fi, and this is that, and we are using that IP address here. So we will be running our Laravel application on this IP, and we can specify the port 8000 as well. So let's run that so you will not get confused. So earlier we ran it simply using PHP artisan serve. So right now we can use PHP artisan serve, and we can specify the host equal to, and we can specify the IP that we just copied, and give a space and give a port equal to, we can set it to 8000 and hit enter. Now this will run on this IP and the port. Okay, so you can see this is our new URL. You can click on this one, and this will open. You can see. Okay, so this is our new URL. So instead of running this inside the localhost, we use the IP address of our local network, and we are doing it. Okay, so now this will be accessible on the Android system. We'll be using the emulator, so it will be working anyways. Okay, since it is on the same system, it will work anyways. So if you're taking this to a device which is not this system, let's say you want to run this on your mobile application, so you will have to make sure that the device and the system that you are running this Laravel application should be connected to the same Wi-Fi network. Okay, so just make sure that the mobile and the system is connected to same Wi-Fi, and you are good to go. That's it. And now we can specify add convert factory, and here we can add a JSON convert factory. So for that we have to add a dependency first. You can open the retrofit documentation, and we can go to the retrofit configuration, and you can see that we need to add this JSON converter. So you can copy this one, simply copy this line from here. We can go to the build.gradle, and we can add that here. So we can type implement, and we can specify this one, and we have to specify the version. So we can give the same version of retrofit. So give that version here, and that's it. So you can see this in yellow. You can add that to the library and click on sync now and wait for this to be added. Now, after completely adding this to your project, you can call the class that is JSON convert factory dot create, and after that you can give a dot here, and that's it. Okay, so now we can create an object for the API service class that we created. So API service and API service equal to retrofit dot create, and we can pass the class here. This API service dot class. Okay, and now we can add the user details that we want to pass. So for that, you can use the user class that we have created, and you can create new equal to, and new can specify user. We have to pass the name, email, all those things. So let's pass name, and we have to get the name from this edit text. So let's collect the name first of all. So let's create a string name, email, and a password, and we can get that from the edit text. For that, name equal to edit text name dot get text, and you have to convert it to string, and that's it. And same for the email. Okay, so now we are getting the text from the edit text, and we are assigning it to a variable. So you can check if this is empty or not, and you can show the error message. Right now I'm not going to do that. You can simply add an if condition, like if this is empty, or you can like if name dot equals, let's say empty. If this is empty, okay, replace with is empty. Okay, you can replace it with is empty, and if it is empty, you can maybe like show a toast message dot make text, get text, and show some message like name should not be empty, name is required or something, and you can set the toast length dot let's make it short, and dot show. That's it. So this is a toast. Hope you know how to make a small toast and all. So that's it. So here we are simply checking if the name is empty or not, and if it is empty, we are showing a toast message. Same like this, you can do it for the email and password. So I'm removing this, so you can add that. Okay, so you can, instead of toast, you can create a text view in the view, and you can give it a color and all, maybe like a red color, and you can set the text to that text view. So the users will be seeing like in a red color, name is required, email is required, password is required, like just like that. Okay, so you can do that here. So I am skipping that part. You can do the logic for showing the empty fields here. Okay, now let's get to the main part. That is, we can pass the name here. So I'm assuming that name, email, and password will be always not empty. Okay, so you should enter some name, some details, otherwise it will be empty. So you have to check that. Okay, so you have to check if these are empty or not here. So I showed you. Let me just add that code. I will add it for 1. I have done this for the name here. So I'm keeping it here. Okay, so you can check that and do it accordingly for the email, password, and all. That doesn't matter. You can use ChatGPT and all and implement this part. Okay, and we can pass the name here and email here, and the password also. Give us semicolon. So the next thing is we can make the call to the API service function. So we can go to the interface. Let's go to the interface, and here, okay, we are doing the registration and we are adding this authorization token. So that is not required because this is the registration and this is the login. You shouldn't add the header for authorization to these two. This one will be added for like, let's say we want to list maybe like you can create one more, that is like post, and we can add like /API /list, maybe list. Okay, so this list will be returning the list of maybe like products or something. Okay, list of some something that requires the authorization. So let's call, you can copy this from here. Okay, and we can add it here, and here you can add this, you can add this header, and we have to change this maybe like list. Okay, and this is how you should do. Okay, for the login and registration, you don't need the authorization token. Okay, so you can remove that. Okay, simply remove the authorization from this two, and you can create new one. This one we'll be using after the login. We'll be calling to this URL, and we'll be using this token to authenticate and all. Okay, and you can come here, and here we can make the call and response body. Okay, you can import this class, import class, and you have to select this one. Okay, so when you're importing this class, you have to make sure that you are importing this retrofit.class. So there is one more thing. Let me just click on the import. Okay, you can see it automatically added the class. You have to simply make sure that you are using the class from the retrofit 2. There is another one inside the HTTP3 and all. So you have to make sure this one is used. Okay, and you can come here, and you can give equal to, you can specify the API service dot. Now you can call the post register. Okay, this is for register, and now you can pass user inside this one, and give a semicolon. So hope you understand. We are calling this API services that we created here. Okay, this one. Okay, and we have to pass the user, and we are passing that here. Okay, so for that we created the user here, and for user you can simply pass name and details. So while testing, you can, instead of implementing the whole UI, you can simply pass this as a string. Okay, so we are simply passing a string here, nothing else. You can see it is a type string, and we are passing it. So in this state, we are simply fetching the data from the edit text, and we are giving that here. That's it. And now after that, we can come here. We can queue this call dot queue. So queue. Okay, and new callback. Okay, hope it is visible for you. Okay, let me just. Okay, hope it is visible right now. And here inside the response, we can check if response dot is successful, and if it is successful, we can do whatever things, like maybe like show a toast message, or take the user to the login screen, or something. Okay, we can do that later. And in the else part, you can give maybe an error. Let's make it a toast for now. Toast dot make text. Okay, let's give some error or something. Okay, and we can set the toast length to short and dot show. That's it. Okay, this is it. And inside the success part, we'll do that later. And let's come back to the on failure part, and you can copy this toast from here. Instead of toast, you can use text view, and just like I told earlier, you can show the text view instead of errors for the toast for the errors. So you can maybe add the message here as well. Okay, like throwable dot get localized message. Let's get. Okay, you can show the error also here. Okay, so in case this is going to be null, you can simply add error, and this will not throw an error. Okay, that's it. So here in the success part, we can open the, let's say we can open the login page. So let's say intent, let's start activity. You can simply start activity, new intent, and you can call get application context, and call the login activity dot class. Now this will open the login screen. You have to finish this registration screen, otherwise this will be open even after this is opened. So when you're clicking back, this registration screen will be active in the background. So that is not a good way. You have to finish this activity when you're going to the login screen. So when the user clicks back, he will be like taken to the app will close. Okay, so that's it. Now I think this part is completed. Okay, everything is completed here. Okay, now we can do the same for the login. It is almost the same for the login, but we will be collecting the authorization token, and we'll be storing it to the shared preference. That's all the difference that is going to happen. And we'll be also parsing the JSON. Here we are not passing any JSON. We are simply showing if it is successful, we are returning. That's it. So you can check if the response has the success or not. Right now I'm simply avoiding it. That's it. So you can do that here. Okay, so you can do that better here. And we can go to the login now. Before that, we can just try running this and check if everything is working. So simply run this one, and you can see by default it is opening the login screen, and we need it to open a registration. So for now, we can switch these activities here. We can set the register activity to be a launcher, and we can change the login to this one. Okay, so I simply switch these names. That's it. So now register activity is the launcher activity, and we can open right now. Okay, and we can let's try passing some details here. It's an email. We can pass something like this. Password. Okay, can click on register. Okay, we need to add clear text because okay, you can come to the manifest and here add use clear text traffic and set it to true. And this is because we are using the HTTP instead of HTTPS. Okay, we are not having an SSL, and this is a local host connection. You have to add this to the manifest. Okay, many of you complained about this error earlier on the earlier videos. Since we are using HTTP, you have to add this, otherwise you will get this error. Okay, simply add this line to the manifest and you're good to go. And now we can, and you should not also add an S here. Okay, because you are not having an HTTPS connection. This is an HTTP connection. Okay, so set it to HTTP. Okay, now we can simply run this one once more, and we can enter some details and enter the password and click on register. We are getting an error. So let's go to the API. I think this should be error with the API part. You can simply, let's come to the response part, and here we can log everything and see what is the error. So log.e, and we can simply like res, and you can response.get toString. Okay, and you can refresh the code and click on run. And now you can go to the logcat. This is the logcat option. Okay, and here this is it. Okay, you can see this res here, and it is a response, and it is showing a internal server. Okay, so we can go to the API. It's a problem with API. So here in our API part, Laravel part, you can see that we are setting this middleware for login and register. That was not required. Okay, so I was simply keep on typing, and I just made this mistake. You can simply remove this because this is not required for the login and registration URL. So because we need to access these in order to access the application in the first place, right? So you cannot add this middleware to the registration and login. If you add this to the registration and login, users won't be able to access this in the first place. So they cannot register. So register and login should be out of this middleware. Okay, and this middleware for sanctum authentication. Okay, and for you can create another route. We will be creating another route. Earlier I show you about the list option. Okay, so logout, we will not be doing the logout. It's a simple thing. You can do that. We can add a list route, and you can call a list function. For now we can, okay, I'm simply going to call this here itself. Let's create a callback function here, and here we can return, for now return something. Okay, return, that's enough. Okay, return, let's say we are going to return the users. Okay, so we can simply create user, all users. So we are going to return every users. So you can use the user model here, and you can call all, and that's it. So now this will return all users. Okay, all users details, and that will be in JSON. That's it. So this list will be returning all the users details. You can implement this accordingly. I'm simply showing for adding the middleware here. Okay, now here we can add the middleware, and you can also add it like this. I will show you a route group. You can create a route group here, and before this group, you can add the middleware. You can set the middleware, that is auth sanctum. Okay, and you can call the group now, And here we will be having a callback function. Give a semicolon here and open this here, and that's it. So whatever route that you are going to give inside this group will be having this middleware. Okay. So let's copy our route from here, and we can add it here. Remove this line. And that's it. So this is having the middleware applied because we are inside the route group. You can also add a prefix as well. Okay. So if you want to add like a prefix list, maybe like you are going to list the products. So in our case, we are going to list users. So users slash list or user slash list something, and you can call it like this. Okay. So there will be a prefix slash users before all the routes that are being inside this route group. Okay. So if you need something like this, you can add it. Okay. It's a prefix to the route. So we won't be needing that. So I'm removing it. So here, hope you understand this part. Okay. I'm simply returning the users list details of all the users. Okay. So it will return a JSON of all users, and we are simply returning it for the demo purpose. Okay. And we are having this authentication here. So this is the main part. We are having the auth sanctum, and this can only be accessed if the user is passing the token. Okay. So you have to set this to free. You have to make it accessible by the guest, and that's it. So remove the middleware from this, and you can create a new route like this one. Okay. And that's it. So the API part is complete now. Okay. So we just made a small addition and a small change. Now I think this should work. You can simply try running this once more, and this should, okay, you can see the user is created, and we are redirected to the login page. Okay. You can see our logic is like this. If the response is successful, that means if we are not getting any error, that you will be taken to this page. Okay. You have to implement this properly. Okay. Maybe you could get a response, and that response will be of error. Okay. So if that is of error, you have to parse the JSON, and you have to check if the status is error or not. I will show you. So you can just come to this login function here, and you can see we are returning status error. So in this case also, you will get the same success and that is not good. You can change the status code here. Okay. In the case of, retrofit, you can change the status code here, and that is successful will work. So right now, since we are using this status 200, the status code will not work. Okay. So hope you understand. You can simply check with the JSON. I'm simply avoiding it because the video is going too long. I'm trying to make it as shorter as possible. So this is the success code. You can check if status is equal to success. You have to parse the JSON. So we'll be parsing the JSON in login part anyways. So you can copy that and implement that the same on the registration part. Okay. So I won't be showing that for the registration part. I will be showing it for the login part. So after seeing that, you can implement the same for the registration part. Okay. So this is the registration part. Okay. So here you can see we are having status success and status error. So you have to check if the status is equal to error or equal to success. Okay. Then only you should proceed with the next screen option. Okay. So hope you understand that. This is a very simplified version, or you can simply set the, this status code on that API part, or you can pass the JSON and check it here. Okay. So you have to handle that. I'm avoiding that, and we'll be doing the same steps in the login activity. So you can open login activity now, and we can remove all this. Okay, remove this one as well. Okay, and you can copy a lot of things from here. Okay, because almost everything is same. So you can copy these objects, and we can add that here. We need to initialize them, so copy this much from here, and you can add that here. Okay, so our function will be like login user. Okay, so this is going to be our function. Okay, and we can create that function. Before that, you can come back to the registration, and we will be needing all these too. So we can copy this much. Okay, you can copy this function as well and add that to the login activity. Let's come here. So we are adding this outside the onCreate function. Okay, that's basics with Android. Hope you know that. Let's minimize this so it will be visible for you properly. and we simply copy pasted this function, and you can change the name of this to login user. In our case, this is the login. We don't need the name, so remove the name from this one, and the name is empty. You can remove this. Okay, I discussed about that checking part earlier, so you can do that yourself. Remove the name. We are not having name here. Okay, inside the login activity, we are not having name, only email and password. So if you simply run that, it will crash. Okay, it will simply crash your application. You can check that inside the logcat option here. Simply open the logcat and you will be getting error here, and you will have null pointer error and all. So that's denoting to your object being null. Okay, simply check that. Before that, we can just try running this and check if everything is working. So simply run this one, and you can see by default it is opening the login screen, and we need it to open a registration. So for now, we can switch these activities here. We can set the register activity to be a launcher, and we can change the login to this one. Okay, so I simply switch these names. That's it. So now register activity is the launcher activity, and we can open right now. Okay, and we can let's try passing some details here. If it's an email, we can pass something like this, password. Okay, you can click on register. Okay, we need to add clear text because, okay, you can come to the manifest and here add use clear text traffic and set it to true. And this is because we are using the HTTP instead of HTTPS. Okay, we are not having an SSL, and this is a local host connection. You have to add this to the manifest. Okay, many of you complained about this error earlier on the earlier videos. Since we are using HTTP, you have to add this, otherwise you will get this error. Okay, simply add this line to the manifest and you're good to go. And now we can, and you should not also add an S here. Okay, because you are not having an HTTPS connection. This is an HTTP connection. Okay, so set it to HTTP. Okay, now we can simply run this one once more, and we can enter some details and enter the password and click on register. We are getting an error, so let's go to the API. I think this should be error with the API part. You can simply, let's come to the response part, and here we can log everything and see what is the error. So log.e, and we can simply like res, and you can response dot gets toString. Okay, and you can refresh the code and click on run. And now you can go to the logcat. This is the logcat option. Okay, and here this is it. Okay, you can see this res here, and it is a response, and it is showing a internal server. Okay, so we can go to the API. It's a problem with API. So here in our API part, Laravel part, you can see that we are setting this middleware for login and register. That was not required. Okay, so I was simply keep on typing, and I just made this mistake. You can simply remove this because this is not required for the login and registration URL. So because we need to access these in order to access the application in the first place, right? So you cannot add this middleware to the registration and login. If you add this to the registration and login, users won't be able to access this in the first place. So they cannot register. So register and login should be out of this middleware. Okay, and this middleware for sanctum authentication. Okay, and for you can create another route. We will be creating another route. Earlier I show you about the list option. Okay, so logout, we will not be doing the logout. It's a simple thing. You can do that. We can add a list route, and you can call a list function. For now we can, okay, I'm simply going to call this here itself. Let's create a callback function here, and here we can return, for now return something. Okay, return, that's enough. Okay, return, let's say we are going to return the users. Okay, so we can simply create user, all users. So we are going to return every users. So you can use the user model here, and you can call all, and that's it. So now this will return all users. Okay, all users details, and that will be in JSON. That's it. So this list will be returning all the users details. You can implement this accordingly. I'm simply showing for adding the middleware here. Okay, now here we can add the middleware, and you can also add it like this. I will show you a route group. You can create a route group here, and before this group, you can add the middleware. You can set the middleware, that is auth sanctum. Okay, and you can call the group now. And here we will be having a callback function. Give a semicolon here and open this here, and that's it. So whatever route that you are going to give inside this group will be having this middleware. Okay. So let's copy our route from here, and we can add it here. Remove this line. And that's it. So this is having the middleware applied because we are inside the route group. You can also add a prefix as well. Okay. So if you want to add like a prefix list, maybe like you are going to list the products. So in our case, we are going to list users. So users slash list or user slash list something, and you can call it like this. Okay. So there will be a prefix slash users before all the routes that are being inside this route group. Okay. So if you need something like this, you can add it. Okay. It's a prefix to the route. So we won't be needing that. So I'm removing it. So here, hope you understand this part. Okay. I'm simply returning the users list details of all the users. Okay. So it will return a JSON of all users, and we are simply returning it for the demo purpose. Okay. And we are having this authentication here. So this is the main part. We are having the auth sanctum, and this can only be accessed if the user is passing the token. Okay. So you have to set this to free. You have to make it accessible by the guest, and that's it. So remove the middleware from this, and you can create a new route like this one. Okay. And that's it. So the API part is complete now. Okay. So we just made a small addition and a small change. Now I think this should work. You can simply try running this once more, and this should, okay, you can see the user is created, and we are redirected to the login page. Okay. You can see our logic is like this. If the response is successful, that means if we are not getting any error, that you will be taken to this page. Okay. You have to implement this properly. Okay. Maybe you could get a response, and that response will be of error. Okay. So if that is of error, you have to pass the JSON, and you have to check if the status is error or not. I will show you. So you can just come to this login function here, and you can see we are returning status error. So in this case also, you will get the same success and there, and that is not good. You can change the status code here. Okay. In the case of, retrofit, you can change the status code here, and that is successful will work. So right now, since we are using this status 200, the status code will not work. Okay. So hope you understand. You can simply check with the JSON. I am simply avoiding it because the video is going too long. I'm trying to make it as shorter as possible. So this is the success code. You can check if status is equal to success. You have to pass the JSON. So we'll be passing the JSON in login part anyways. So you can copy that and implement that the same on the registration part. Okay. So I won't be showing that for the registration part. I will be showing it for the login part. So after seeing that, you can implement the same for the registration part. Okay. So this is the registration part. Okay. So here you can see we are having status success and status error. So you have to check if the status is equal to error or equal to success. Okay. Then only you should proceed with the next screen option. Okay. So hope you understand that. This is a very simplified version, or you can simply set the, this status code on that API part, or you can pass the JSON and check it here. Okay. So you have to handle that. I'm avoiding that, and we'll be doing the same steps in the login activity. So you can open login activity now, and we can remove all this. Okay, remove this one as well. Okay, and you can copy a lot of things from here. Okay, because almost everything is same. So you can copy these objects, and we can add that here. We need to initialize them, so copy this much from here, and you can add that here. Okay, so our function will be like login user. Okay, this is going to be our function. Okay. And we can create that function. Before that, you can come back to the registration, and we will be needing all these too. So we can copy this much. Okay, you can copy this function as well and add that to the login activity. Let's come here. So we are adding this outside the onCreate function. Okay, that's basics with Android. Hope you know that. Let's minimize this so it will be visible for you properly. And we simply copy pasted this function, and you can change the name of this to login user. In our case, this is the login. We don't need the name. So remove the name from this one, and the name is empty. You can remove this. Okay, I discussed about that checking part earlier. So you can do that yourself. Remove the name. We are not having name here. Okay, inside the login activity, we are not having name, only email and password. So if you simply run that, it will crash. Okay, it will simply crash your application. You can check that inside the logcat option here. Simply open the logcat and you will be getting error here, and you will have null pointer error and all. So that's denoting to your object being null. Okay, simply check that. So remove this object. It is not required here. So we need the edit text for email and password, and we need the button anyways. So the button ID is different. Okay, so don't forget this. If you are going to mess with this IDs, your app will be crashing, because you can go to this activity login. In activity login, we are not having a button with the ID btn register. Okay, reg. Okay, we are having the button with the ID btn login. Okay, so if you are going to run this code, I will show you a demo, because let's go to the manifest and change back our activity login to be, okay, here. Okay, you can change back this this one to here, and we can copy this one to here. We are making the login as the launcher activity again. That's it. Okay, so we'll just give a space so you understand. Okay, this is the activity 1, and this is activity 2, and this is activity 3. You can simply check this name. Okay, opening tag, closing tag. That's it. Simple. It's a very simple, like HTML syntaxes. Okay, that is very simple. You can understand that. Okay, and now we can run this one. So I'm going to show this is going to crash. Okay, so I'm going to show how the error will look like. Okay, we need to change this one. Okay, you can remove this one. Okay, there are other mistakes here, so we will have to correct those as well. So for now, we can comment this function. Okay, and we will take care of it later on. So I'm simply commenting this in order to show you that error part. Okay, and this one also we can comment here. Okay, now this will run. You can run this one and check what's going to happen. See, the app is not opening, but it's crashing. Okay, you can see the app is crashing. See, and if you go to the logcat, let's open this one and scroll to the bottom. You can see caused by null pointer exception, and it is caused by the button. Okay, so you can click on this one and it will take you to the button ID. See, this is the button that is causing the issue. You can easily see that here. Okay, simply check what is causing the error. And if you are asking the doubt on groups, like we do have a group on WhatsApp and all. So when you're asking the doubt, you can simply give this cause. Okay, give this cause line, and we will be easily able to understand the error. In case you are not having that, you have to copy the error and give it. Okay, so some cases you won't be having this cause. So most of the time you will be. So this is a null pointer exception. That means some of your objects are not initialized properly. So in our case, our button is not initialized properly. That is this one. So it is change it to btn login. Or is it? Okay, and try running this one, and it should run without any problem. Okay, it will open. See, that's it. So our issue was the button ID was not present in the layout part. Okay, that was it. Now we can uncomment all the commented things back. Okay, can uncomment this function. Now we can keep on correcting this one. Okay, so okay, we need a user. Okay, we need to pass email and password. Okay, so here we are not having name, so we are only passing the email and password. For that, you can go to this user and we can copy this constructor and add it here. You can remove the name here because we only need email and password. So remove the name, and now we are having 2 constructors. Okay, so one with 2 parameters and one with 3 parameters. Okay. That will solve our issue. Okay, so here we are only passing email and password. And this one, we have to change this to the post login, which is this function. Okay, this is the interface. Okay, this is the interface for login. You can pass the user as the body. That's what we are doing here. Okay, we are fetching the user details. You can see that we are getting the email and password from the edit text. Okay, and here, okay, we are calling the post login and anything else. Okay, so that's it. So here things will be different. Okay, so we have to pass the JSON and we have to set the data, and we have to fetch the token and all here. So we'll be doing that here. So we need to get the JSON response to a string. So we can create a string here and name it like array, and you can get a response dot body, and you can get it to a string. So you can simply add a try catch. You can come here and you can see this one is to handle with the try catch. So you can click on this one, it will automatically add a try catch. So simply add the try catch here, and you should also check if the body is not equal to null. So you can add that as well. You can add a if condition. So we can cut this from here, and we can add that here on the top. You can add an and here, and I can paste it here. Now that's it. So we are checking if the body is not null, then only we'll be executing this. Now we can start parsing the JSON. So you can create a JSON object, and you can see we need to add a try catch here as well. So you can add this to the course, and you can see we added one more catch, and this is for JSON exception. Okay, you can add that to the top section like this. Okay, and that's it. Now in order to proceed, we can check how the response JSON will look like. For that, you can simply change this post request to a get method, and you can simply try checking how the response will look like. So I am changing this login to get method, and I have run this URL. You can see I am passing details of one of the users that I registered. You can see I'm passing the email here, and I'm passing the password here. Okay, so you have to pass the correct email and the correct password. Otherwise, you will not get a response like this. Okay, so you can simply pass this as a get parameter, and you will get this response, and you can see we are having status, and this is the data. So this is a JSON object, and we have to get this JSON object, and then we are having another JSON object that is the user, and we also need to get this token as well. So this data object will have this token, and inside that we are having one more object that is the user, and inside that we'll be having all this user details. So we'll be passing the JSON like that. So we can create a JSON object, we can name it data equal to, we can use the object that is created earlier, dot get JSON object, and then we can pass the key name, that was object name, that was data. Okay, and another one was user. We need one for user, so we can change this like user. Okay, and I think that's it. So inside data we'll be having this token, so we can fetch that to a string. So create a string and name it token, and you can fetch that using JSON, and that is inside the data object dot get string, and you can give the name, which is I think it was token itself. We can check that later. Okay, and then we have to fetch the user details, right? So for that we can create another string. So name equal to, now the JSON object is JSON object user, and dot can simply get string, give name, and can duplicate this one. We need email and name here as well, and there is nothing else, I think. Okay, so we can also maybe get the created and updated details. That is not required. Okay, so name and email. Password won't be, it is encrypted, so it is not something you will get as the response. So that's it. So we'll be having the name and email and the token. So hope you understand how this came. So I will simply walk you through the response once more. So here I have opened both the code and the JSON on the same screen, so you can see it properly. So you can see we are getting the response as a string here. So that will be this much. Okay. So you'll get this much in this variable. And then we are converting this to the object. We are fetching the JSON object. That is this one, this brackets. Okay. And from there, you can check the status. Okay. You can get the status to a variable and we can check if it is success or not, just like how we have done here. Okay. So in that case, if you want to get a status, you can create a string here and let's name it status equal to. Now the object that you should use is this one. Okay, because that is the first object and the data is here. Okay, the status is here. Okay, so you should use the JSON object dot get string and you can specify the key name, that is status. So here you will get the status. Okay, so this will get the status, that is this one. So you can see the object name is changing. This is the first object we created. Okay, so the next one, you can see this is also another JSON object and that is with the name data. And you can see that we are fetching from the previous object, we are fetching another object that is data. Okay, that is this one. It starts here and it ends here. Okay, and just like that, inside this data object, we are having another one that is the user, and you can see that we are fetching another one here. Okay, so this is fetched from this data, and you can see we are using this object here. Okay, so we made a mistake here. Okay, you can see that you should use this JSON object here. Otherwise, you will be trying to fetch this user from this object and it is not found there. So you have to change it to this JSON object data. So because it is inside this data object, we are having another object that is users. And you can see we are fetching the users here. Okay, so this much is the part we are fetching all the JSON objects. Okay, so we are fetching the object 1 and from object 1 we are fetching the object 2, that is the data. And from the data object, we are fetching the user object symbol. Okay, so you can see the names here. These are the names. Okay, so hope you understand that part. Now from these objects, we are going to fetch each items. So you can see token, where you can see the token. So token is inside this one and it is inside the data. You can see this starts here and this one ends here and the user starts here and it ends here before the token. That means this data is inside, this token is inside the data object. Okay, so we are fetching it from the data object dot get string and give the name, that is token. Okay, just like that, we are fetching the name. You can see it is inside the user object. So we'll be using user object dot get name, object dot get email, etc. You can also fetch all these details as well. Okay, and that's it. Now we can store these details to a shared preference. Okay, soon after we complete the login successfully, we can save these details to a shared preference or maybe even the database. Okay, can use SQLite as well. So we'll be using shared preference. So you can create a shared preference. So I have created an object for the shared preference here. You can simply do this. This is the name and you can give any name. I prefer to give the package name. You can give anything here. Okay, that doesn't matter. You can set the mode to private. Now we can create an editor object. Now we can put all these details into the shared preference using the editor. So you can simply call editor dot put string. Since this is a string, you can use put string. Now give the name for the shared preference key. So we will be using the same details. Okay, so for token, we are going to use token and you can simply pass the token string variable. Okay, now here you have to understand that this is the key name and this is the variable name. Okay, so that is very simple. String token, you can give string token, maybe string token auth, something like that. You can see this is in red right now. That means you have to use auth here. That's it. Okay. So this is the variable name and that can change. And this token name, whichever thing that you are going to use should be same. Otherwise you will not be able to access it. Okay. So that's that. Now editor dot put, we are going to add the name and email. We have added the name, email and token to share preference, and now we can call editor dot apply, and that's it. Okay, so everything will be shared to the shared preferences. So it will be saved to the shared preference. Now after login, you can call maybe like start activity, and you can open the main activity. You can also add some shared preference to check if the login was made or not. Maybe like let's create one more thing. Okay. And like login status, or like you can give anything. Okay, some name here, and you can set this to true. If login is true, you can set this to true. Okay, if the person logged in, you can set this to true. Otherwise you can set it to false. Okay, so you remember that if login is true, if the person has logged in, we'll be setting this to true in the login screen. That is, we'll be only setting this to true here. Okay, inside this one. Otherwise we'll be setting, by default we'll be setting this to false, and so we'll be checking if the user is logged in or not on the main activity. I'll show you how we'll be doing that. That's a very simple if condition. Okay, and that's it. You can either use this one also. Okay, that doesn't matter. Now we can open the main activity. So start activity, you can create a new intent and pass the get application context, comma, give the name of the class, that is activity main dot class, and you can call finish for the login activity. Now as soon as this main activity opens, we will be closing the login activity. Okay, so what happens that is when the user tries to click back from the main activity, he will not be taken back to the login activity, right? So that's what's going to happen here. Okay, and you can also implement a logic so that if the person is already logged in, you can maybe like add a check if the shared preference for login is true here. Okay, you can make this variable on the top. Okay, we can do that later. Okay, so you can add you can actually copy this shared preference variable to the top, and you can do that. I will simply add this to the top anyways. Okay, so you can add this on the top section here, and you can copy this here, add it globally. We also need the editor. Okay, remove this editor also, you have to add to the top. I'll explain you why we are doing that. Okay, and now we are having this globally. Now after this initialization, okay, only after this initialization you can add it to the top section. Okay, so now after this set content view, you can initialize them. Okay, now you can like do a logic here. If like shared preferences dot get string, and you can check if the login, you can see that we are setting this login status. Okay, can check if the login status is you can set a default value as well. Okay, so here we can set a default value. Okay, see def value, that is default value. Can set it to false here. So by default this will be false, and you can check if there is something inside this one, it will take that value, otherwise it will be false. Okay, so if this is equal to you can set it to true. Okay, you can use this equals instead of this one. Okay, and you can open this condition. Okay, hope it is visible. I will just, okay, this one, this is our if condition. If this is true, you can start the activity from here itself, because the user is already logged in. Like start activity, you can, let's copy and paste that here. Okay, where is it? Okay, you can use this one and you can add it here. Okay, so what this does is that if the user is already logged in on the application once, this shared preference will be set. Okay, and in that case the user won't be needing to log in again, so it will directly open the application. If you are adding this one, it will directly open the application if the user has logged in once. If you don't want this, you can remove it also. Okay, that is up to you. I simply shown that you could do thing like this also. Okay, Now, same like this, we will be doing one more thing on the main activity. So I think we can copy this much from here. So the next thing that we will be going is to the main activity. So you can copy this 3 line, okay, these 3 lines from here, and you can go to the main activity class, and we can paste one by one. Add the shared preference here, shared preference, okay, import the class, okay, and we can remove this, okay, let's make it simpler, okay, and we can paste the initialization, and we can paste the if condition, okay. In this case, okay, import the class for intent, okay, import class authenter, okay, and in this case we have to check if the login is equal to true. If it is equal to true, you can execute, you can check if it is equal to false, okay. If it is false, you can start login activity, okay. So this is what you should do. So what happens here is, you can see we are checking if the login status is equal to false. If it is equal to false, we will be executing this one, okay. If this statement is true, we will be opening this if condition, and we'll be executing this one, and we will open this login activity. That means if this we are using strings here, okay, so you have to make sure that we are using strings here. So if the value which is inside this shared preference, if there is no value inside the shared preference, we will be taking the default value, which is a false. So if someone try to access this main activity without logging in properly, this value will be false here. And in that case, we are checking if it is false. If it is false, we are taking that user to the login activity. So after the user logs in, you can go to the login activity. You can see that we are setting the value of login status to true here. Okay, so we are setting this to true here. And when the user comes here and checks, you can see this will be true here. Okay, so this value will be true here. So this will not be executed, okay, because you can see this string won't be equal to this one. So this condition becomes false. Okay, this condition becomes false, and we will not be inside this one, and we will continue executing the other things. So hope you understand. If you are having any doubts, you can leave a comment and I will be responding to them. Or you can also join our WhatsApp group or Discord community, and you can ask all your doubts there. So our login and registration part is complete. You can see that we have completed this one. We are not checking the status here. You can check it, and if status is not equal to success, you can also show some error message accordingly. So that part I'm not covering right now. Okay, so the video is too long right now itself. Okay, so trying to make it short as possible. So the login and registration is complete right now. So the next thing that we are going to see is how to implement the auth token. We have to pass the auth token, and we'll be seeing how to make a request through the retrofit. So we'll be seeing that. Now we can simply try running this application and see how it will be working. So make sure that your Laravel application is running. Okay, so you can come to this Laravel application, and here we can see that this command is running. Okay, so this was our command to run the Laravel application on the host, that is our local IP address. Okay, and you can simply run it like this. Okay, use your command prompt and run the command ipconfig, and you will get this IP address. Okay, this is the IPv4 that you can find on the bottom when you run that command ipconfig. Okay, and you can run this command like this. Okay, and you will get to the link like this. Okay, so we discuss about that in this video itself. Okay, so watch that. So should not skip the video, otherwise you will not understand. So make sure that this is running properly, and you should also make sure that you are having MySQL and Apache running properly. Okay, if it is not running, you will get error. Okay, simply make sure that these both are running. Apache is not required, but you can keep it running because we will be checking the PHP myadmin panel. So keep it running. Okay, and we can run this one. So we have to add a button or something so that the user can go from the login page to the registration page. So I'll be doing that quickly. So in the login, we can come to the bottom section here, and we can add a text view or something here, and content. Okay, we can add an ID for this one. ID maybe like text register reg. Okay, and give a text and we can give it like a register now. Okay, and that will be our text, and you can give a padding, margin on the top, margin top maybe like 10 pp, and that's enough. Okay, so when the user is going to click on this text view, I hope it is visible here. Okay, when the user is going to click on this text view, we will be taking the user to the registration page. So let's go to the registration here. So let's minimize the emulator for now, and we go to the registration, go to the login activity. Okay, here on the Java part, and here we can add a text view on the top. So create an object text view. You can add that here itself. That's enough. Okay, so come here and the text view, you can create a text view and define view by id r.id dot. So text view id was text reg. Okay, and you can set an on click listener for this. Okay, so we have added the on click listener for this text view. Okay, so make sure that you are using the id properly for the respective views and all. Okay, so after that you can start the activity here. Okay, you can simply copy this one. You can also call the finish as well. Okay, add this here, and that's it. So you can change this main activity to login activity, registration activity. So register activity, and this will take the user from the login to register screen. So we can run this one and check if it is working. Let's run it, and we can see the text view here. Click on this one and you will be taken to the registration screen. Now we can register a new user. Okay, and you can give an email here, and you can give the password, some password. Give us some password here, and click on register. Now the user is registered, and we are taken to the login page here. Okay, so now we can give the email once more. So we have entered both the email and the password which we used to register earlier. Click on login. You should be okay. We are getting an error here, so let's check what it is. So go to the logcat. Whenever you get an error, you can go to the logcat, and you can see that we are logging the res here, response here. Okay, and that is method not available. Okay, allowed. Okay, that means we changed the method on the login page earlier. So we changed this from post to get. Okay, that was the error. Okay, simply change it back to post itself, and now this should work. Okay, so you can simply click on this login, and that is working. See, that's it. So whenever you are getting an error, you can add a log statement. Okay, so you can add a log statement. You can also work with the filters and all. I'm not going to discuss that right now. We can make a separate video for that. So you can add a log. You can simply log it to the error section, and can give the tag and all, and you can give a message here, and you will be able to see the response here. Okay, so you can see that here. So right now this is the response that we are getting from the Laravel API. Okay, so that's what we are logging here. Okay, response. We are changing it to string and doing that. Okay, so you can debug things like that. Go to the logcat, and you will be getting details about your error. Okay, so now we can see how to make a request to an API using the token. So go to the main activity. So login and registration is complete now. Now we are going to see how to use the auth key that we have generated right now so far. So all these things are to get this auth key. Okay, so further request will be using the token to communicate with our APIs. So you can make sure that you have added this middleware auth sanctum to the links or paths that you want to use the authorization. You can see we have added a post request, that is /list. So we'll be making a post request to the /list, which will be API /list. Okay, which will return a list of all users. So we'll be checking this one. So now we are inside the main activity. You can copy the function for making the retrofit call. Okay, this one, anyone from the login or registration, you can take that, and we can paste that here. Okay, let's minimize this emulator, and here we don't need this editor is not required here, so you can remove that, and this one also you can remove that. You can remove all these are not required. Okay, you need that one. Okay, you can remove this one, this much from here. Okay, or maybe you might need this JSON, but this won't be exactly the same. Okay, so you can remove this much. Okay, you can remove this much. JSON exception, we can remove it for now because right now we won't be having that exception. We will be adding that because we'll be parsing the JSON soon. Okay, and I think there's nothing else to change. Okay, and this one we don't need this because we are not going to use any edit text here. Okay, so you can remove this one also, and we can see that we are calling this one. You can change it to post list one. Okay, and let's go to this list, and we can see that we are passing the body with the user. That is not required here. Okay, we can remove that. We only need the token, auth token, and go back here. You can change this to the token. Okay, so we have to pass the token here, and nothing else is required right now. So since we are fetching the details from an API, we don't need to pass anything, right? So this is all that is required. So when you want to pass something, like here I want to pass the user details, like the name and the email for login. I want to pass the name and email of the user. So that's why I use this one, and you can see we are using this constructor, and we are passing this. Okay, and I hope you understand that how it is working. So if you are having any doubt, you can leave a comment and I'll be responding to them. Okay, so we have to pass the token here, so we can get the token from the shared preferences. So that's why we copied all the shared preference object from earlier. Okay, you can use shared preferences dot get string token, and you can give a default value of empty. That's it. So here we are getting the shared preferences and passing it here. That's it, and you will get the response here. And in this video, maybe we can add that response to a text view. Otherwise, the video will keep on getting longer and longer. So I'm simply going to add an ID for this text view, and maybe like a res. Okay, that's enough. And come back here, and we can where is it? And here we can add that to the text view. Create an object here, text. Okay, add an object here. Now you have to initialize the object text view. Find view by ID dot ID dot, and give the ID which was res, I guess. Okay, and you can set the text view here dot set text. Now we are setting a text to the text view, which is the response, which is a string. That is it. Okay, which is a simple code. We will be fetching. You'll be getting a JSON response. Okay, you'll be getting a JSON response here, and it is inside this string. Okay, and we are going to set that string to this text view, so it will be visible here. Okay, in this text view, that JSON will be visible. That's it. It is a very simple thing. You can pass the JSON and do things here. I will not be explaining that because we already explained that in the login section. Okay, we already explained this, how to do that. Okay, so use that, and you can implement the same here, and also you can implement the same here as well. Okay, here as well you can do that. The same logic you can apply here. Okay, so this is complete. So we are good to go, and we can run this and check everything is working or not. Okay, we forgot to call this function. Okay, so we can call the function here. Let's rename the function, maybe like fetch get data or something. Okay, can call that here, get data, and run it once more. Now you can see it is working. Let's wait for it to. Okay, you are getting an error here. Okay, straight away you can go to the logcat, and we can see it is showing a server error. Okay, internal server error. So let's go to the API. Here in the API section, I don't see a mistake. So this should be with the Java part itself. And let's check the code, where we made the mistake. Okay. So we didn't pass the bearer token. We have to add a prefix of bearer here. Okay, this is a bearer token. So you can, if you go to this service here, we are not, we are passing this authorization header, and we have to set it a bearer token prefix here. Okay, simply add a prefix bearer here. Simply give a space after that, and that's it. Simply add a prefix, this prefix, okay, on the token part in this function. Okay, simply add this bearer prefix here, and I think that should fix the issue that we face right now. So rerun the application, and you can see we are getting the response here. So what is it? So hope you understand. It is a very simple. You have to make the change here to add a prefix here, and then only your token will be complete. Okay, and that is it. So hope you understand this video. So if you have any doubt, you can leave a comment, and I'll be responding to them. So we can simply try checking it. We don't have a logout feature yet. Okay, so you can, if you want to implement the logout feature, you can simply clear the shared preference, and the person will be logged out by default. So I will show you quick how to do that. We can create a function like void logout for this, and here we can simply clear the shared preferences, because here in the login section you can see we are setting the shared preference here, login status to true, and in the main activity we can see we are only checking if the shared preference is true or false. Okay, so this is happening here. So for that we can simply implement a clean out for the shared preference. You can simply call shared preferences, editor. We need the editor here. Okay, so we have to copy that object as well. Okay, you can simply create object for editor. That's better. Okay, instead of copying, we can simply type that. You can come here, create an editor, shared preferences editor, and the editor, initialize the editor object here, editor dot equal to shared preferences dot edit. That's it. And for the editor, we can use that here, editor dot, you can call the clear function and also call the editor dot apply, and that's it. Now the shared preferences will be cleared when you will be calling this function. So we'll be calling this function on a button click or something. So after that you can maybe can create an intent. Okay, intent, let's call an intent equal to new intent get application context and comma, and we can open the login screen after logout. Okay, dot class. Now we can set some flags in order to close the application completely and open the other activity. Like you can add a activity clear top. Okay, you can add a activity clear top and all those things. For that, you can add intent dot add flags. Okay, add flags, and we can specify intent dot flag activity clear top. Okay, this one. You can also add maybe like flag activity new task. Type new task maybe. Okay, this one also. So I have added an or and added this one also. Okay, and give a semicolon here. Hope this is visible. Let's minimize this. Okay, so this is the code. You can watch and type. Okay, now we can simply start the activity. Okay, you can simply call start activity and pass the intent. That's it. Now we can also, okay, that's enough. Okay, so this will close all the activities, and it will open the login activity. Now we have to create a button for this. So you can go to the activity main. Where is it? Okay, go to the activity main layout part. Okay, we have to add a button here as well. Okay, let's add it. Button content, even ID for the button. Let's say btn logout. Okay, and we can give a text that is log out. Okay, we can place the button maybe like here after the login, and you can give the constraints. Okay, it will go to the bottom, and you can place it. Okay, with this this constraint layout, you have to give the constraints for this to be placed properly. Okay, so we have videos discussing about these layouts in detail, so you can watch that, and I will not be explaining that in this video because it is already a long video. So we are having that button there. Now we can create an object for the button. Okay, button, and name it like button itself. Okay, you can give any name for the objects. Okay, and we can initialize the object button equal to, so it was button, I think it was button logout, right? btn logout. So you have to make sure the ID that you are using is perfectly matching with the layout part. Okay, otherwise you will get errors and the app will crash. Okay, you will get null pointer error. Okay, or you will get error. You can simply go to this logcat, and you can see maybe like not initialized, maybe null pointer error, etc. You can see that if the object is not initialized, you will get null pointer. Okay, so you can add a on-click listener for the button, and we can simply call the logout function. So everything is complete right now. Okay, so that's it. So let's try running it, and you can see it didn't ask you to log in again. So that happened because of this if condition that we have added. Okay, this one. So if you are removing this one, it will take you to the login screen again when you are opening the application. Okay, so you can simply click on this logout, and you will be taken to this login screen. Now if you open this app once more, you can see you will be taken to the login screen instead of the home screen because you are logged out. Okay, so if you log in here, click on login, you can see it is logging in back. Okay, so hope you understand this video. If you want to take a look at the PHP MyAdmin MySQL part, let's open this one. Okay, we can go to this. This is our database. So open this database and minimize this one. And this is our tables. You can see in the users table, we will be having all the users that we registered. Okay, so these are the users that we registered. You can see the password is encrypted. Now let's go to the table that is personal access token. Okay, and you can see we are having the tokens. Each time a user is logged in, we'll be creating a new token. You can also delete the previous token and create this one. Okay, so you can do that. Simply you can call delete. For that, you can come to the Laravel API part and open your auth controller. Then go to the login function. Okay, go to the login function, and here before creating, we can delete all the existing token for the user. So simply call users of tokens, and you can call the delete function, and that's it. So this will delete all the tokens before you are creating it. Okay, you should not call it after you create it because it will delete that newly created one as well. Okay. So after deleting the tokens, you can create a new one. So all the existing tokens for that specific user will be deleted. So make sure if you want to specify like maybe you want to delete only the tokens with the name mobile token. In that case, we can simply add a var here, and you can specify the name mobile token here. Okay, now this will delete all the mobile tokens of that specific user. You can do that. You can refer the Laravel documentation and can do. If I keep on explaining, there will be a lot of things that I will have to cover. So we are going to conclude here. I will be simply showing one more demo, so you can see this login tokens will be getting deleted. So you can see right now we are having 4 tokens. Okay, and it is for the user. You can see the user ID is we are having 2 and 3. Okay, so we are having user ID 3, and also for the user ID 2. Now here the current user is having the ID which is 3. So we are going to log out and log in once more. So every token for that user which is with the ID 3 will be deleted, and only one will be there. So right now we are having 2 there. So 2 of them will be deleted, and we will add 1. Okay. So you can enter the details and click on login. So let's check what the issue was. So here in the word section, we forgot to add the name of the field, that is name here. Okay. So here in the table, you can see, go to the structure, and you can see that we are having a name option. You can go to the browser itself. Okay. And you can see this is the field name, that is name. So you have to use the field name where field name equal to this one. Okay. It is just like a SQL query. So you can simply give a where condition, and you can give the field name and the value. That's it. So it will execute all the delete queries and all for you, and it will delete everything. So this is the where condition you have to add. So give the field name and the value. Okay, that's it. Now we can try logging in once more. Click on login. Okay, this worked, and we can go to the database and check if all the tokens are deleted or not. Okay, so here we can see these are the previous tokens. You can see the tokens. So I think these 2 will be deleted right now. Okay, these 2 will be deleted, and only 1 will be there for the user 3. Okay, simply refresh this one, and you can see a new token is added for the user 3, and all others are deleted. So hope you understand that. So that's all for this video. If you have any doubts, you can leave a comment below, and I will be responding to them. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more such videos.